we'll see what mFire has in mind to try to take down this completely unpredictable ROX Tigers team.
Well, I don't know if bans are useful in doing that. Alistair maybe, I guess. But anything else?
Let me first pick the Alistar. There's a Rise ban.
One of those situations where the ROX Tigers have shown they are not bound to any certain champion pools. It's all about the way they play. Even with Peanut kind of having to be that little bit less aggressive than he could because of the champion pick. Otherwise, the ROX Tigers play with such swagger it's just honestly great to watch.
Yeah, Graves ban, Quinn ban against Smeb, which is probably a pretty good one. Lulu, okay. Gangplank, so will mFire maybe first pick that Alistar?
Seems likely. Let's see if there's anything else really screaming to be picked up when these bans are over.
And so much still available. Callista, Lissandra. Oh.
Edge has been really
Poppy.
good on the Lissandra. The Poppy, as you mentioned, is available. No, banned away with the last ban.
It was Roach's only champion played in his one other game, so I think they're going to try to test him a bit. No.
And this is just,
they got to be trolling.
This is a bit of manners. Everyone's smiling, you can see in the booth. You're not stealing away the Nocturne. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think Alistair, right? It makes the most sense. It's Gorilla's best champion.
Maybe
okay, it's
Callista.
Gorilla's most played champion.
Maybe Callista.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Alistar is better, but they're going for the Callista anyway.
Gray's 5-1, 5 KDA on Callista this season, so it's been his go-to pick.
Well, Smeb could take Fiora here. We hadn't even mentioned that.
I mean, Smeb moused over random champions. Any of them could definitely be his pick, but
Alistar in Italy, yeah.
Maybe it's time for the power.
Alistar in Italy seems like a great duo to grab.
Peanut, over 10 KDA in 3 games, 3-0 on Nidalee. Flashes the Nocturne, but it's going to be the Nidalee. They played with their food last game. Maybe it's time just to pick your best champions and let the cards fall where they will.
I gotta say I'm a bit relieved that Peanut didn't go with the Nocturne again. It worked. Well, it didn't really work per se. It was adequate. It worked out in the end.
I would say that it was a hindrance to their usual game plan, but it worked out in the end.
That's true. Well, we're gonna see more of a usual game, I think, this time with Peanut playing that Nidalee. The Corki's a good takeaway, of course. But, you know, we could just see, I mean, Lissandra, Fiora, Lucian's available.
mFire have decided to go for powerful champions. They're not interested in any shenanigans with swapping. We know exactly the roles of all 3 of these champions, so that's the worrying part, where you've blind picked all your lanes and are the ROX Tigers of all teams get to counterpick.
Well, without the Quinn, it would make sense to take the Tom Kench into that Fiora. I suppose you could go for Gnar.
Actually, one of the better matchups is Kennen. He could return to that. Kennen won't die against Fiora. Very, very hard to chase him down with all the CC and his ability to go faster. So Kennen is definitely an opportunity, but I think Smeb probably wants to play something different. If I was a betting man.
I don't even want to make any predictions. What's it going to be? Lucian, Tom Kench makes sense, but... All right, they're going to grab the Lucian and the Lissandra instead.
So, let's pick on the Lissandra.
Kuro had a good game on that.
It's a good lane to gank. Will be the Fiora instant cast CC and then Peanut being able to burst from high health, but of course always risky to pick pick Lissandra into Fiora, knowing the potential for the outscale in the late game. And it's going to be balanced team fight with a touch of Siege from the side of the mFire, very balanced comp.
Yeah, they've got a good comp.
Got tank front line, they've got an outscale top lane, they're in a good spot. What is it going to be? And with that lock-in, it's going to be, let's play around the Lissandra, the Fiora, and try and really control him. I mentioned the previous game when Jinair was able to get all over this matchup with Chaser keeping close attention to top on Rek'Sai with this Lissandra. Going to probably be the same expectation here. Whether it's Kuro, whether it's Gorilla, whether it's Peanut, everyone has to give a helping hand to ensure that Fiora reaches that late game threshold 35, 40 minutes into the game, when if you look at these average game timers, the game should be over from a ROX Tigers perspective.
Yeah. Would you call this a pick comp out of the ROX Tigers? They've certainly got a lot of potential there.
I think definitely. There's no real help on the Siege for Nidalee, so it's certainly not a Siege comp. I think Nidalee's mostly about the dueling. It's mostly about getting in the face of the enemy jungler and the gank potential. Once you get level 6 from Lissandra, everyone is going to visit top lane to try and rotate to help Smeb just crush Fiora into the ground early.
See what they can do. As usual, smiles and laughter on the faces of the ROX Tigers players.
That cool shot of the logo.
That is a cool shot of the logo. And so there's our roster for what could be the last game of the evening, unless the mFire makes some sort of miracle comeback. We'll see what they can do. ROX Tigers looking to close this one out with a quick 2-0. And Peanut back on the Nidalee again.
No complaints in the drafting phase. I think mFire have a strong comp, but a lot of comfort for ROX Tigers.
That's right. So it is time. mFire looking for the comeback, looking for the tie in this series. ROX Tigers looking for the 2-0. Let's get in the game and see who takes it. All right, welcome once again to Summer's Rift. Big cheers for ROX Tigers. The mFire not doing too bad either.
Full voice is the crowd. Everyone's recharged from the days off. No one's been working the last few days, so everyone's feeling good about their League of Legends. And now we get to see the ROX Tigers play again, so I feel pretty good about League of Legends as well. No caster bias, but these guys play some real amusing games.
Well, I mean, there's no question that these guys are the most fun to watch in Korea right now. They are easily the most entertaining team.
I have some stats in front of me, and it makes grim reading if you're an mFire fan. Peanut, 3-0, 10.7 KDA. Nidalee, Kuro, 3-0, 4.8 KDA. Twisted Fate, and Gorilla moved to 10-2 with the win last game. So I don't have all the champions, but comfort is a worry spot to be in when you're giving comfort to the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, definitely true. A little bit deeper wards going in. They do spot Crush and Roach. Crush Roach. Getting ready for the Grump.
They're going to jump into 2v2s, and it's the return of Alice Lucian, so why not, if you're the ROX Tigers?
Yep. A little bit of early aggression from Sol and Googer trying to get into the jungle, but Gorilla and Prey were there. They knew. So we are going to get standard lanes from this one.
Been a big factor today, dissuading people from taking level 1 camps. You've noticed it. I feel like Krugs and Gromp have been contested almost every game.
It's a good point. It's interesting. It's an interesting little change to what we've been seeing a lot of lately.
I think the way it goes in the meta is that it feels like people stop doing those camps and then you just do them because it's one of those situations where you don't expect the invade, and then when you know to expect the camps to be started, that's when people start contesting. So it's almost the rock, paper, scissors of those level 1 camps.
Right. Googer and Sol really putting a lot of harassment on the Prey and Gorilla, but against this Ballista Thresh lane, that's kind of what you're going to expect early on.
It's also ranged auto attack, and Gorilla's skilled heal, so isn't going to be combat ready for a couple of levels, so it's going to be lane control early to mFire.
Yep.
The harass coming through from the Death Centers, no reason to go into it, and now we get to watch Peanut have his way with the map, which has kind of been the way he's played this Nidalee. For now, no camps to go to on that side of the jungle, but there's still time.
Yeah, are we going to maybe see an early dive here?
There is the potential.
There is.
Wait for the glacial.
Here comes the minion wave. There's Roach. Roach in a little bit of trouble trying to back away. Wow, Smeb flashes for that. They get the flash out of Roach too.
Counter flash is actually really well played from Roach to stay alive in that situation.
Yeah.
Klister does spot the blue buff hasn't been started yet. Makes sense with Peanut being on the top side of the map.
Smeb tried to go in for the flash W, but Roach was definitely ready for that.
Look at this though, already 4 to 15 CS in top lane. Was able to teleport, so actually was able to stay in lane, so has the corrupting potion for a bit of sustain. Will he be able to catch out Peanut here though? Still
or will Peanut catch out Crush? Wow, that spear lands and Crush needs to run.
Let's have back up.
Collapsing time though, they're going to go in. There's a knock-up on the Crush and a little bit of trouble there, getting low. And they give Peanut the first blood. ROX Tigers not done yet though, as they tried to go in. After Googer, I guess Sol feels the need to flash at the end.
Now you too worried. There was one factor that made that invade a poor one from mFire. Was that you saw the Kalista Sentinel spot out the blue buff. It looked like a smart place to contest. Kalista was there to back up the invade from Crush, but the big issue is that Kuro's Ghost Flash Twisted Fate. We've seen Teleport Ignite, we've seen Flash Teleport, we've seen all those things from Twisted Fate, but we haven't seen much of the Ghost Flash Dade special it just means that whenever there are these skirmishes, he is always going to be the first one to react. And the result was a big punish onto Crush, and therefore a slight lead.
Yeah, it was
the
a
ROX
really nice collapse. That's what makes the ROX Tigers so good, or one of the many things anyways, that they're able to respond like that. TP used. With the flash down up at top lane for Roach, I wonder how much Peanut's going to want to try to gank that lane.
A lot, just to be clear.
I think so too. He's thinking about it. Is he going to go for the mid lane gank though?
Flash is up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's right. Oh, gold card onto Edge. Edge cleanses it right away. Doesn't have to burn that flash though. Peanut's like, oh, I'm not afraid of the 1v2. Lands a spear onto Crush, goes in, a lot of damage. Knock up immediately from Rek'Sai. Crush not out of the woods quite yet. Peanut chasing. Can Kuro help him get the kill? Loads up that gold card, goes onto Edge. Not quite enough damage. Whoa, that spear nearly did it.
Not done
Peanut's
yet.
going to try to land another one here. Waiting for the minion wave to go by. I don't think you can have time.
You can just hear him in the booth. We can't, but you know he's saying, this is my jungle.
Being so annoying, and this is giving Kuro a lot of free time to farm and catch back up as well.
But we see this all the time from Peanut. You might think, okay, he's bloodthirsty, but what it's about is Smeb can be under the enemy turret and have zero worries in the world of being ganked. There's just no way. There's no one invisible on the map because the enemy jungler's recalling to base. Peanut has complete control, can put in deep wards. He never buys wards, so he only has a pink to put down. But
Yeah.
this is just what aggressive jungling does for you. And it's why I want to see more teams around the world ape the ROX Tigers. Because when you have laners who will respond to aggressive jungle invades, you can just play aggressive in every lane and face no penalty. You'll get the more CS, you'll get more chip damage to the turrets. The outer ring will go down faster, and the wins will come faster if you're the ROX Tigers.
Right. Kuro with a very fast level 6. Here comes Peanut. He's back. He's always in your jungle. He's going to take your Grump. It's not your Grump, it's Peanut's Grump.
How arrogant to think you could take your own Grump if you're Crush.
Yep. It's the people's Grump. The Peanut's Grump.
We the Peanut.
That's right.
Well, for a turret dive now. Tremor Sense will spot him out though.
4 scores and 7 CS ago.
I feel when you push up the pink ward to the enemy side of the jungle. Kuro's just been standing out of lane, has no worries in the world. Now finally returns.
Yeah, well, they've got to really worry about that Twisted Faith ultimate now. Oh, here we go. Oh, nice spear on the Roach. Whoa, that's a lot of damage.
No flash from Smeb, otherwise he probably wouldn't have flash all in, but maybe you don't even need flash.
Wow. They got him trapped. Well, Roach is going to come in with the ultimate. Peanut, they've bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. No flash. Oh, one more spear? No.
Is this a solo queue game?
Maybe.
Feels like it.
Every game is a solo queue game for Peanut. But he's so good at it.
Yep.
He's going to get the blue buff now.
Well,
maybe. Not quite.
If they really wanted to invest the destiny into this, they would get it, but let's see.
He takes so much. Yep, it was close. Edge gets the blue buff though. Peanut's like, no problem, I'll just kill him to get it.
Lissandra already has a dominating laning phase early over Fiora, so that's not where the surprise is in, but Corki should be all over Twisted Fate, but just can't be because he's always going to be called, he's going to hear calls from his jungler, come back me up, you know, I'm being counter-jungled by Peanut. Peanut relieves pressure from every lane on the map, and the result is that you can pick into counter matchups confidently if you're the ROX Tigers because you're always going to have the first response, the first gank, the first ghost gold card. They're always on the front foot, never on the back foot, and that's the way to play this patch.
It seems that way. Kuro doing just fine in this mid lane. Now the engage onto Roach here. Peanut there, nice ultimate. Roach has that flash, gonna burn it right away, but I don't think he's gonna make it out of this one. Nope, I don't know if Peanut's gonna make it out of this one either. Oh, just enough. And at least Roach comes away with that.
The caster minion aggro takes him down.
Yep.
But they'll get the turret.
Peanut doesn't care. He's like, worth.
What does it take to make this team stop smiling?
I don't know. I don't know. Embarrassing losses don't do it. Embarrassing deaths under turret don't do it. Yep, that's the face of someone playing against ROX Tigers.
No relief.
86 to 31 right now is the CS up in top lane.
Well,
that's a ridiculous difference.
Peanut has had his way with that lane. All you can really say.
It's a tough day to be Roach.
Welcome back to the lineup, Roach.
Oh yeah, welcome back to the booth.
Competitive experience, you called it, Doa.
I guess
Getting
so.
to play against Smeb and the ROX Tigers.
They forgot one of the little sentinels, yeah. Peanut, you forgot something, buddy. You want to leave one up in your opponent's blue buff camp.
One thing you can credit to mFire is that having a Gorilla roam. Usually we see Gorilla all over the map with his swiftness boots, but actually has to be purely laning so far in bot lane. They have a slight advantage, but
Yeah.
even just forcing Gorilla to stay in lane, it's more than you'd expect given his pedigree on this champion, so.
Oh, they're not seeming to have any trouble with the ganks, even without Gorilla. Whatever you say. Hey, he's back.
Treat to watch is Peanut. We still haven't seen Destiny from Kuro.
Yeah.
10 minutes into the game. Hasn't been needed.
Well, top lane turret is down now, so there's not really a lot of places you can go unless they want to go for a big dive down in bot lane.
Very risky to dive. Ballista, Thresh, remember they have so many different ways to pull each other out.
Yeah, just trying to think of ways maybe Crow could ult in. Yep. Jungle belongs to Peanut. Peanut, apply directly to enemy jungle. Oh, Roach gets W'd after he tries to come in. Peanut gets the grab again, I believe.
Yep, he got that one. He has the Sentinel as well, so. Oh dear.
Oh, Crow's ready. Gonna come in. Wow, we're going really deep. Roach just destroyed again.
Little thing you might have missed there was Smeb actually flashed W to proc the riposte first, so the gold card would land. Very, very smart. Good communication between the two.
Yeah, that's right.
So the game is being lost in every other lane, and if you're Guga and Sol, you're just kind of like, well, we're doing our best over here, guys.
They're like, well, we're doing good in lane. It's those feeders in the other lanes that are ruining it.
It's always the jungler.
That's right. Poor Guga and Soul. Just doing whatever they can. Until they get dived.
Yep. Until the problems of other lanes spill into their lane.
Yep, pretty much. There's only one lane to dive yet. Well, I guess mid hasn't really been dived, but
I wonder how early the Flame Horizon can come out in top lane.
pretty fast.
Already 62 CS advantage for Smeb, and that's without Kuro showing any presence till just now. Obviously with Peanut literally camping his lane. Oh, I guess Peanut camping the enemy blue side jungle.
Might as well go for the Rift Scuttler here.
Rift Scuttler's definitely the ultimate consolation prize in League of Legends.
Or it's just the ultimate icing on the cake.
Could be.
I wouldn't want a Rift Scuttler on top of my cake, though.
No?
I can't imagine it tastes very good.
If you don't eat it fast enough, it just leaves.
Yeah. Rift Heralds either. See, the Rift Herald is... He's not really... See, the Baron is more like the birthday cake-oriented jungle minion, I think. Because he kind of pops up as if he were popping out of a cake.
Always without fail at 20 minutes.
Happy birthday, Mr. Summoner. I'm sorry, they're not in the game anymore.
We're still on Summoner's Rift, though.
We are. R.I.P. Summoner's Rift.
mFire decided to park multiple members in mid. This was a strategy that worked well in game one, but they already are dwarfed by a massive gold lead for the time. Over 5,000 at 13 minutes.
Oh, here we go. It's time for a gate, and your destiny is to be Fate's called to safety. Or not. Wait for it. There's the box. They trap him. The ROX Tigers still all over these guys. So here comes Roach from the side. ROX Tigers have to be careful here. TP coming in, though. There we go. Smep trying to make a play. They've pushed mFire back a bit. Fate's call was on cooldown. That's why we didn't see Cougar brought in.
Chase mFire away from their bot side turrets. So although they don't get the kills, nicely on the cake, I guess, they do get the cake, which is the bot lane turret.
Yep. Peanut a little bit too low to do the dragon. Gets the Rift Scuttler done, though. And the lead continues to grow.
Yep, it's
Or
ballooned.
the ROX Tigers.
It's massive. 6,700 gold at 14 minutes.
This is going to up their gold lead at 15 minutes stat a bit, won't it?
It will, and it's probably going to help their average game time as well.
Well, they need it after last game, I guess. Easy Dragon.
They just make it look so easy when we're treated to 50-minute game after 50-minute game. You just wish teams would really spend their time analyzing what is it about this approach. How is Peanut able to play so aggressively and but never be caught, or minimally be caught, or when he gets caught, they're trading for multiple objectives. I think it must be the communication loop, but it's also just never playing reactive. Reactive does not seem to be a word in the ROX Tigers vocabulary when they were the ultimate epitome of the reactive team as the Coup Tigers.
It's very bizarre. It's strange to see a team be so good in such profoundly different ways over the course of a couple seasons, you know? With relatively the same roster, too. Only changes in the jungle.
What a change that was.
Yeah.
We're definitely on track for Peanut from Najin to ROX Tigers being top 2 roster swap in League of Legends history.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Only Dade to Samsung Blue might be considered a better one. Of course, they did win this season in his first debut season as a Samsung member, so that's the bar for Peanut.
Yep. Well, if things keep up, they're looking pretty good, even against teams like SK Telecom.
Well, it's a hollow victory, but the first round robin victory seems assured.
Luger caught a little bit. Here comes Kuro to finish the kill. And wow, Smeb going in. They land the W, but no follow-up, really.
Roach has no teleport. They're happy to just go in aggressively. There's so many pick options with the Lissandra, who's so far ahead of her lane opposition. They just want this turret.
Good time for Smeb to clear that wave. I think Kuro really wants to go in here. Walking up with the gold card, it's scary enough to just chase him away from turret. Nice zoning with the culling by Prey. That's another objective down. It's an 8,000 gold lead now for the Coup Tigers at just 16 minutes.
It's a solitary kill from Roach separating a perfect first 16 minutes. No dragons, no turrets, and a solitary kill for mFire.
Well, if you recall too, that turret was just via Peanut staying under the enemy turret in top lane a little bit too long.
That's fair. The minions should have got the credit for that one.
Yeah. That was all turret.
Well, no asterisk, perfect game to do it. Kills kill.
Yep, it's true. Blame Peanut for it. Aha! Oh.
They just keep playing. They can now rotate Twisted Fate into the Fiora lane. That should never happen.
That's true.
If you thought Lissandra was bad in a 1v1 against Fiora, Twisted Fate even worse. But when you're this far ahead, why not?
I suppose you can.
I'd like to see Roach just go for the all-in. There is definitely a chance of outplay. But with Ghost and Flash up in a second, maybe it's just too hard to chase down.
Yeah, I don't know. Really taking some damage. If I was Kuro, I'd be a little bit cautious, of course, against landing against a Fiora. I think you need to be.
He has Ghost, Flash, and movement speed from the Lich Bane, so the chase is probably not possible, but just buying time. Of course, can respond to any mid lane pressure with his ultimate, and another Rift Herald.
Yep. And who's going to get this one? Prey.
It's going to help him DPS down the minion waves, and then of course the culling will do that 10% extra damage on the turret as well, so not a bad choice, but could have been anyone. I feel like there's always 5 carries in the ROX Tigers lineup.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, the culling doesn't connect too much.
So which is the big contender, do you think, to the ROX Tigers?
SKT. Definitely.
I guess maybe we'll get the answer to that tomorrow. It honestly feels like it's the ROX Tigers Challenger match in the telecom wars between KT and SKT.
It is. I mean, the ROX Tigers are definitely the best team in the league right now, but I think that SK Telecom can be good enough if they want to be, you know?
That game has real stakes. It always does when it's the telecom wars. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was the
That'll be a
Champions
great
Summer
one.
final as well, was between KT and SKT. KT are always looking for retribution against SKT. Based on 3 years ago, of course, the famous Champions Summer final, but this is their best chance
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah, I think so. Going in? Nope. Just zoning. They only want the turret.
Well, there's 10,000 gold.
You gotta hand it to the ROX Tigers for continuously knowing how far to push things. You know, they very rarely get overly aggressive, you know?
I mean, the ROX Tigers had their fun in game 1 with their lock-ins, and this is prototypical 2016 ROX Tigers. Peanut bossing around the enemy jungle, getting a big lead, this time in top lane, playing around that lead smartly, putting their resource in the right spot. Excellent ward coverage. His pinks, to say they're aggressive is the biggest understatement of all. They're super aggressive, pushing forward their pinks, and there's just nothing for mFire to do. There's no resources to get to. All their jungle's been cleaned out first by Peanut, now by everyone else rotating between lanes. There's no counterplay at this point. You're just done if you're mFire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Desperation Baron time? Nope, just ward the Baron
Desperation Baron Ward.
time. At 20 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, ROX Tigers could go for it.
Well, that's why I said Desperation Baron Ward.
Yeah. Aha. And, I mean, mFire just has no vision on the map right now.
Nope. There's no way to make this game climactic. This is systematic destruction by the ROX Tigers.
Yeah.
And just therapeutic for a lot of viewers who I'm sure have seen those stalled out long late game fest. Great to see you can play the game at a different pace.
Well, gold card on the Soul. They do a good amount of damage, but no big follow-up, but that's okay. They're still just taking map control. But yeah, I mean, it is nice to see a team that, you know, knows how to play aggressively and can do it well. They're really one of the only teams that can make this work right now.
I just feel like so many teams have interpreted the patch and say, okay, the death time is longer, so let's take no risks. That's not how the ROX Tigers play. They take controlled risks. They look overly aggressive, and sometimes from Peanut they are, but in general their risks are backed up by percentages. It's, let's put pressure here. We've also got this lane in the right spot. We're communicating clearly. I know exactly the limits and damage of my champion and of the enemy champions. And when you're right, 80% of the time, which seems to be the ROX Tigers on a bad day, the result is just super, super one-sided games.
Yep. Peanut's just going to go ahead and solo the dragon, while the rest of his team pushes down mid lane. And Smev will split push in bottom. There we go. Finally got him.
Just feel bad if you're mFire. They've played good this series. They honestly should have their heads held high, even though they will lose 2-0. They got nothing to be ashamed of. They're just outmatched in every way.
Yeah. They really are. I mean, what do you expect from a team that is kind of just starting out? You expect the all-in. Gorilla going in. They catch Edge. He's immediately gone. Cougar soon to follow. ROX Tigers can just turn and grab this turret now. Dives for days. It reminds me a lot. The way they're playing now reminds me a lot of the old Najin Sword. You know, do dive. That was another team that was just aggressive every single game, but so good at it.
The fun thing is, of course, they have that Najin lineage as well.
They do, yeah. I mean, Ray was there.
New Najin versus old Najin is on display here. Or old new Najin, I guess.
Oh, they're going to keep an eye on everybody. Smev going in. Grand Challenge popped on him. He's going to have to be careful for the moment. Roach gets culled. A full culling. Peanut should be able to finish him off now. Oh, nice dodge. Not nice enough, though.
Didn't have the riposte available. No way to get out. They'll just turn on the Baron.
Again.
The mFire doesn't want to surrender. They could. No one will blame them, but going to go for the chance. I mean, they could get a steal, but
well,
go down quickly.
The ROX players are a bit low. This could get interesting. Okay, there we go. Never mind. Gorilla is pushing people away. Oh, gold card onto Cougar. Goodbye. Another kill on the way out. So 3 kills in the Baron out of that.
Look at these. I mean, the golds just flashed up for a second. I couldn't tell the leads, but you know they're massive
Huge.
across the board.
Yeah, Peanut grabs the blue buff. So why not? Another massive game on this Nidalee. 5-1 and 2. Let's watch that fight again.
And not really too much to take from this replay when the gold is so one-sided. Roach looks for a pick, can't get it. There was no ultimate onto Lissandra. And Roach just accepts his fate. He's dead. That's why he stops. So, well, goodbye.
Tries to be fancy. So the Baron power coming in for ROX Tigers. Got 8 minutes to end this one underneath their average game time.
ROX Tigers need no introduction to end games decisively, so they're going to push up their waves, use their initiation, whether it's Twisted Fate, whether it's an Alistair dive, take out this game.
Yeah, mFire pretty desperate now. Needing some sort of miracle, but I don't think it's going to happen. But it's what you expected, you know? Gorilla gets hooked, no big deal. Edge takes a ton of damage.
mFire have a game one, first 15 minutes of game one to hold their heads very high about. They look great there, but...
Yeah, look at this, man. All the inhibitors basically going down at the same time. Fate's Call used. Will they engage? Tried to onto Gorilla. Gorilla just knocking someone back, though. Gold card onto Roach. That's going to let Kuro do a little bit more damage. And all three inhibitors are dead. Soon, mFire will be too. There's a dive. There's the kill on the Thresh right away. Crush will not last. Soul tries to get in the back lines. That's a bold move for a Kalista to make. Smeb will Zonia's. Are they going to lose anybody in this fight? Oh, maybe not. Double kill comes in for Peanut at the end. And that is it. So no kills except for that very early one against Peanut. And if it weren't for that, if it weren't for Peanut staying under turret for a little bit too long, this would have been a perfect game. That's about as close as it comes, though. GG and ROX Tigers with a quick 2-0.
There's just been multiple games this season where the ROX Tigers have played 2016 meta better than any team ever could hope to. They're so clean beyond, as you mentioned, one slightly failed turret dive.
Yeah.
They play so aggressively. They play the way that Riot intended this patch to be played, and when it's played to its fullest extent, they just look wonderful doing it.
Pretty much. If you're mFire, you just look like you got, you know, hit by a semi-truck out of nowhere. I mean, it's just, you're like, what was that? Is it over?
Unfortunately, it's just what I said before the series. It's just literally every player is outmatched by their opponent. The opponent's better at playing macro strategy. mFire played fine. They should hold their heads high. They learned something here on the Rift. They'll watch the VOD and they'll see how a better team closes out games, and maybe they'll learn something from it.
Yeah, I really don't think you can say that mFire could have done much better than they did. ROX Tigers are just looking unbeatable. They're going to move to 7-0 on the season so far. Very reminiscent of a year ago where they went the entire regular season without losing a single match. They did end up getting 3-0 in the end by SKT, but hey.
The meta shifted and it really went away from the ROX Tigers towards the end of that season. I have a sneaking suspicion the meta can't change fast enough to stop them from their winning ways.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about what these guys are doing when Dragon becomes arguably more important in 6.3, that's not really going to make the ROX Tigers any weaker, is it?
That's one of those situations where if they're forced to late game team fight better, I remember the ROX Tigers being pretty good at team fighting as well.
Yeah, I really don't think that's going to be a problem for him. So we will see who our Game 2 MVP is going to be.
I think it's going to be Peanut.
I see two players missing from the booth, which should pretty much confirm it. Yep. But let's put up the graphic anyway, you know, just cuz. And it's Peanut, 7-1-3 on that Nidalee.
I mean, 77% kill contribution doesn't sound like the most impressive thing, but this guy ran all jungles. He ran the jungle, not a jungle, not his jungle, not the enemy jungle. Literally, there was early parts of this game where no camp was available. I love the first-person camp.
He is the king of the jungle, man.
Nidalee.
Oh boy, time to dive.
It's just crazy, crazy aggression. Level 5, remember?
I love this. Well, what does a Nidalee care about level 6, man?
Well,
he's like, oh, bad idea.
I'll just leave. I'm Nidalee.
Oh, no, I won't leave after all. Gorilla making all those plays on the Alistar as usual.
Well, he's just going to keep getting Alistar. He's going to keep locking it in and wait for the bans, I guess, if you're Gorilla.
Yeah.
This was the only moment of shame. Let's look at how close he was. Those two, two caster minion hits take him down.
Would have been a perfect game otherwise.
And see, they still have something to strive for, Doa.
Yep.
They still haven't had a perfect game.
It's true. It's been a long time since we've had a perfect game. At all the champions.
So hard to stop turret swaps. And the meta right now is 2 turrets down before anything really happens in the game. So
yeah, very true.
This was Roach just accepting his fate.
When your Nidalee is soloing the opponent's Fiora, you know things have gone off the rails a bit.
I think Gorilla would have had a decent option against that Fiora as well.
Could be.
Another great performance. Out of this world. You said it earlier and I'll echo it now. always brimming with a smile when watching the ROX Tigers. That is wonderful to watch.
It's really something else, yeah. So we'll move on to our MVP interview, and Robin will be translating as usual.
Thank you very much, guys, for another great day on the cast of mFire, mFire. I would hope to have an epic pick because they just got asphyxiated by Peanut that game. Now let's meet the two MVPs of the day, Smebs Kennen and Peanuts Nidalee. Now you guys are still continuing the momentum with no losses. How does it feel? So we had a good rest over the Lunar New Year, and yeah, it feels great to mark the new year with a new win. In the first game, you guys had an all-in dive composition. Whose idea was this? I'm not sure, but Peanut was saying, "Oh, I want to play Nocturne." So yeah, I think that's why our composition turned out that way.
High-level strategy.
Yep. The Nocturne pick was in order to dive together as a team. Now, everyone in this game, the first game, had a champion that could initiate a team fight. And what is the shot calling like? Does everyone is it to each his own, or do people do it together? Well, there's not really a specific shot caller, and every time someone has an ultimate open or an ability and a situation that can start the fight, then they just go in. mFire was able to kind of hold their own until the mid game, but as soon as Lux died, they got completely stampeded by you guys. Well, our composition was a pretty bad composition for the early game, so we were thinking, oh, let's just do well in the early game, stay safe. And after killing the Lux, we were like, oh yeah, the game is on our side now. We're gonna be able to win this. Your next opponent is going to be Jin Air, and they have also been riding a very, very big momentum. How do you think this is going to fare? Yeah, Trace has been very good, and I hope that in that game my team's going to carry me. Do you want me to can you say something to Trace? To Trace? Hopefully we'll have a good match. He's being very polite.
Respectful to his elder in the top lane, Trace.
Now let's move on to Peanut. Peanut, you got an MVP today again. How does it feel? Well, I prepared Nocturne for today, and I thought I was going to get an MVP for Nocturne, but yeah. My teammates were like, oh yeah, we think you're going to get MVP this time. So I got it the second game. So we kind of joke around about Nocturne picks and other picks like that, and today we were pretty serious about it.
Were they though?
Not as much.
So did you know that your MVP points are the same with Smebs? Yeah, I actually hope that Smeb keeps getting the MVP. He's being very modest. You guys are continuously S rank in the power rankings. What are your trade secrets for this? Well, there's no particular secret, but recently I wasn't that good in the recent games, but after the break, I think I was able to bring back the wind. In the second game, you pretty much dominated the enemy jungle and treated it as your own. And was it fun doing this? Well, the top was very skewed to our side, and Smev had a lot of advantages, so we kept calling. We knew that they were going to call the enemy jungler, and we used that to our advantage to dive the Fiora. People say that Smev actually said that you are perhaps getting a little overconfident and cocky. Well, I don't focus that much in the scrims. Once in a while, I just kind of go off, and the coach does scold me a little bit for that, but yeah, I guess I should be doing well. Well, he does get cocky, but not just in scrims, but also in the competitive scene here. But yeah, recently he's actually been doing pretty well. Now finally, for Peanut, do you have anything to say to Smev, who's second place together with you in the MVP? Well, hopefully we can share the MVP points fairly, but at the end of the day, I hope I come out on top. And that appears to be the end of the interviews. Back to you guys, Doa and Papa Smithy.
All right, thanks for the translating, Robin. And another day, another win for the ROX Tigers, and this one coming a little bit easier than most, I'd say.
Absolutely. They were just facing the team that was put out against them. They outskilled them, they outplayed them. Actually, mFire looked pretty good for big swaths of the first game, but just outmatched in the end. As we look back on our day results, Longzhu, interestingly, after their first game loss, did come back and beat out Sonic Boom.
Yeah, looking a little bit tighter in the last 2 games, and that gives them the 2-1 victory over Sonic Boom, remains winless. And ROX Tigers remain lossless after their 2-0 victory over mFire. Interesting night of League of Legends. ROX Tigers, it was good. It was good to see a little bit of fun in the first game and a little bit of seriousness in the second game. 7-0 on the season, looking really, really good. But tomorrow, guys, KT Rolson versus SK Telecom, that is going to be an incredible match.
And ROX Tigers versus Jin Air next week will be an interesting one. They're going to be at least top 3 opponents for them, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep, CJ Entus versus the Afrika Freaks will be our first best of 3, but then the Telecom War, SKT versus KT. It's always good, always entertaining.
Of course, a repeat of the Champions Summer 2015 final.
Yeah.
KT looking like the better team, but SKT, we're always ready for them to pull it out and show us and remind us why they are one of the greatest squads in the history of League of Legends.
Well, I feel like we see it over and over again that when SKT, just when you think they're starting to kind of fall off, you know, especially over last year, they always come back and show you that they do still have that ability to be the best team in the world. And you know, they have that reputation. They are the world champions again. You know, we saw Faker say they don't want to have another year this year like they did in 2014. He wants to win worlds again. Well, you got to beat KT if you're going to do that.
Exactly. That will be the first salvo for them.
That's right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This has been OGN Champions from Seoul, South Korea. Don't Papa Smithy. We'll see you again tomorrow. Short week, but it'll be a sweet one. SKT versus KT going to be great. Thanks for watching. See you then.